Hi, good morning, everybody. So I am totally embracing my philosophy of better late than never. So here we are today to talk about social media content creation, specifically for busy mompreneurs. Thank everybody for your patience. I was just on another live Facebook Live broadcast where we were talking about the launch of my newest book, working in collaboration with She Rises Studios and Adriana Luna Carlos. And that is called Introverted Women Leaders. It is out now in ebook, so pick up a copy. And so now I'm here a little behind my scheduled time, but still happy to be here to talk about social media. So one thing I want to talk about today is, creating social media content from the basis of, how to approach it or, how to show up for your social media content. So first and foremost, and this ties in with a few different things I have going on in my life right now. First and foremost is be authentic, right? So many of us are so worried about being perfect when we show up on social media that we lose the magic that's found in being authentic, right? I know when I first started creating content, specifically videos, live videos, reels, that sort of thing, I wouldn't do it unless my hair was done properly, my makeup was done properly, I had the perfect outfit on, the lighting was right, my mood was right, everything was right. And what ended up happening was I would never create content because the stars just didn't align. And when I did create it, I usually showed up so stiff and rigid and, you know, inauthentic that it was never going to connect with anyone anyways. And once I got really comfortable with my power being mine, and I got comfortable with showing up as me on good days, on bad days, on less than perfectly coiffed days, my content started connecting with a lot more people because I was real. I wasn't perfect. I was a real mom, a real mompreneur with real mom life struggles and real entrepreneurial struggles, showing up to talk about them and share my tools and my, methods of working through it. And that's when I was able to connect with people. So I know that the idea of being authentic, of being vulnerable, of showing up as yourself can be terrifying. But you have to know that it is relieving for people on the receiving end, right? When they see you as you and not as perfect, you open the door to them for the idea that they could do it too, because it means you don't have to be perfect to do it. So when you show up, be authentic, right? Be you, talk about real stuff, talk about struggles you've had, talk about wins you've had, talk about hurdles you've overcome. I mean, I'm not, and it was funny, Cursa Lauren in her PR training this past weekend mentioned this, like, don't show up as a hot mess all the time, but show up real. It allows your audience to connect with you better. And it gives you a wealth of stuff to draw content from, right? Your lived experience becomes your content. When you're not afraid to share with people what is really happening or, struggles you've really overcome, then you now have a boatload more content to share with people because we all have struggles and they happen daily, right? So when looking to create content, remember, be authentic. And authenticity helps to build that know, like, and trust factor, right? Especially the trust factor. If you are real when you're showing up, then people can trust you, right? It's like I always say, I trust people more when they swear. It's a thing with me. When people, drop the occasional swear word in conversation, for some reason, I trust them more. Because in my mind, everybody swears. And if you're working too hard to not swear, then it means you're trying to hide something. It's my weird logic, but it works for me. And I connect with people who curse on the occasion, because I curse on the occasion more often than I care to admit. So that the second thing when it comes to creating your content is know your audience, right? That's the thing. If your audience does not respond well to cursing, then don't curse. But knowing your audience, being really crystal clear on who your ideal client avatar is, knowing what their likes are, their dislikes are, will help you create content that will speak to them, because you can speak to their pain points, you can speak to their goals, you can speak to their lived experience, because chances are it's your lived experience too. Oftentimes your perfect ideal client is you 5 months ago or you 2 weeks ago, right? They're you in a former phase in life. And so when you're authentic and you know them well, then you're speaking to them where they're at. And then your content, again, it connects with them. It helps them feel seen and heard. And we all want to feel seen and heard, right? The third thing is don't stress about it being too long. Keep it short and sweet. I mean, remember, with everything going on in life, social media, in the news, cell phones never ending, people have a short attention span. So you don't need to come on and talk for half an hour. You can come on and talk for 7 to 11 minutes, and that's long enough to engage with people and share important information without losing them before you get to the good stuff, right? So don't stress yourself out about, oh my gosh, I got to go on there and I got to talk for 20 minutes and how am I ever going to fill that much time? You don't need to fill that much time, right? Just go on, share what you have to share, be you, make mistakes, don't delete them, be authentic, and you'll connect with people, right? And I've shared in numerous videos before how when you make these little videos, when you go on and create things, you now have a way of repurposing that content and using it to create additional content. So when you show up perfectly imperfect, speaking your truth, connecting with your audience that you know well, speaking to their pain points and showing them that there is a way, you can take that and turn it into more content that is again going to connect with them because you're speaking to them. So finally, the one last thing I want to say is, be consistent. And I say this with a caveat, okay? Be consistent in a way that works for you, okay? Trust me, when I started out, I started on Instagram. And I was watching all the Instagram experts telling me I had to post 5 times a day and I had to do this and I had to be, 10 stories, 5 things, 2 reels, all this stuff, to the point where I literally shut down and was like, I can't do this. I am not made for this. I cannot do social media marketing because it overwhelmed me. I would get into Canva, my ADHD would take over and I would get lost in the nuances of creating my content in Canva, right? Borders and margins and colors and tweaking. And so I would lose like 3 hours just creating a post. And then I would sweat over the caption and the hashtags. And I was trying to do this every day. And then had no time for me to actually work on my business because I was busy working in my business on the content. And I was like, I can't serve clients this way. So then I had to discover what was consistent for me, right? What worked for me. And for me, it's, showing up and doing lives twice a week. For me, it's sharing, relevant information with people a couple times a week. It's coming in and talking about the things that are important to my clients and my audience on a weekly basis. And that's consistent for me. And sometimes it doesn't work, right? Sometimes we got to give ourselves grace. Like right now, I'm trying to buy a house. My family and I are trying to buy a house. And there's been some challenges that have come up. And it has literally consumed so much of my bandwidth, my brain space, that I haven't been able to show up. And that's okay, right? It's okay to give ourselves grace. But when I say be consistent for you, what I mean is figure out what works for you and then consistently do that. If social media content for you or any content for you is showing up twice a week, 2 posts, 1 video, 1 post, whatever it is, show up and do those things every week. Try to do them on the same day every week if you can. Schedule it so that it's, happening. That is consistency. If you show up on the same 2 days every week in a similar style, your audience is going to learn that pattern, and that is your consistency. Your consistency does not have to be all day, every day, 5 times a day, 10 stories, 3 reels, all the time. You define what consistency is, and then define what works for you, and then be consistent with that schedule. Okay? It's your business. It's your social media. I mean, sure, if you were on here like 1 trillion times a day and you're on all the platforms and you're posting all the time and it's happening for you, you'll probably grow your audience very quickly. But I caution you, you will also accelerate your rate of burnout. at the same time. And I did that. I burnt myself out. I was like, I can't do this. I honestly thought I was not made for business because I could not do the social media part. When in fact, my ability to, create Canva posts has absolutely nothing to do with my ability to help my audience, right? That's not what I do. So be consistent, but be consistent in a way that works for you. Show up authentically, be your true self, share your lived experience. When you know your audience and you know them well, you know that what you're sharing connects with them. And when they feel seen and heard, they start to build that know, like, and trust factor. And keep it short and simple. You don't have to be here for 3 hours, right? Get on here, share for 7 to 11 minutes, share something worthwhile, invite them to connect with you. And that's all there is to it. Okay. So I hope that helped. I'd love to hear your feedback. Drop me a line, comment below, shoot me a DM. Let me know if that helped or if there's anything else you'd like to hear about. I'm always here. And if you need help with your social media strategy or you need help with getting your message out there, let me know. We at the Inspired and Profitable Mompreneur have tools for that. We can help you with that. So keep going, believe in yourself, give yourself grace. And remember, the woman you see when you look in the mirror is exactly what a successful entrepreneur looks like. Have a great rest of your day.